Howdly doodly do! Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else, to the fashionably late review of Last Stop. We are always fashionably late, but we still have some words about games. I am your host for this episode, David Mark Moody, the glorious one, and joining me as always is my fabulous co-host, the glorious Amy Kate Alexander. How are you doing?
I'm hot. I don't know if I've mentioned this on any podcast or a social media platform. I'm very warm.
Not at all. Not at all, Amy. Not at all. It's
Cool.
like I'm pretty cool right now, I won't lie. People won't know. I have a window open.
I saw the fan.
I have a fan. Nobody can hear said fan, which is brilliant. It's the perfect device. I stay cool and refreshed while podcasting about a game, which is really, really good, Amy. It's really, 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 really good. How have you been since we last podcast? I hope you've been all right.
Better. Marginally.
That's true. That last episode was a difficult one to get through, I won't lie, but I'm glad to see that we are there's a lot of people who have seen it. I've seen a few people have watched it, which I'm really happy about. It was a tough conversation. And I'm also seeing like a few of our friends have come out and literally said we are no longer going to talk about or even play their Activision Blizzard's or Ubisoft games, which I'm really pleased to see that. Shame no more could do this, but it's a start. I guess it's a start. It's literally better than nothing. It's literally better than it's just you, me, and James Stephanie Sterling, and everything. So it's better. At least it's something. It really is. And like, I'm really a shout out to I'll say this shout out to Joseph Moran and Kyle Stevenson. They're awesome video about that. I really enjoyed that. I was saying, yo, fantastic. I'm so happy to see this, especially because I know both of them. Especially Joseph was like, he's a huge fan of Activision Blizzard games. He has the nostalgia-ness towards it, but he's pushing that aside and he's like saying, no, I can't do this anymore. I have to have some morals type of thing, and I love him for that. I'm absolutely so happy about that. But ladies and gentlemen, as you know, you are not here for this. You are here for the fashionably late review of Last Stop. So let's get into that, ladies and gentlemen. The rating summary. This is from OpenCritic, so go and check that out. I do a great website. OpenCritic right now, rating is fair. The top critic average is at 70, and critics' recommendation is at 32%.
Do you want my recommendation? Here's my critic recommendation. Don't bother with OpenCritic. That's my critic's recommendation.
Says this while I'm using it as a platform.
Yep.
General information is available, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else on Nintendo Switch, PC, PlayStation, and the Xboxes. So, and it is developed by Variable State.
Variable State.
Variable State. Thank you very much for keeping me on the straight and narrow of my terrible pronunciations.
Keeping anybody on the straight and narrow.
Well, my pronunciations, you are.
On the straight and narrow.
I know what you're getting at there, but I'm
straight. How dare you? We will fight. You insulted my honor, and we will duel at dawn.
Okay, that's no worries. Publisher is Annapurna Interactive, and the genre is adventure. The description for the game: Last Stop is a single-player, third-person narrative adventure game set in present-day London. Where you play as three separate characters whose worlds collide in the midst of a supernatural crisis. An anthological drama. Last Stop is three stories in one. What connects these three strangers? What connects these three strangers, and where will fate lead them? Amy,
I know
we've both played this. So, quick summary of this. What are your quick thoughts on this game? Did you like it? Was it a mixture for you, or was it just something that just didn't work for you?
No, I enjoyed it. I liked Variable State's last game, Virginia. That's why this is on my radar. Like the entire time, I guess. Like there's that. It's like I liked the Variable State's last game, and it's published by Annapurna Interactive, one of the best publishers in video games. So it was like, I'm gonna play this. This is a combination of two things I like, and I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was exactly what I thought it was gonna be. I think is a fair thing for me to say. My chair keeps rolling backwards. I don't know if you've noticed. I keep going slightly further backwards. Like I'm going backwards right now. But
I tell, I won't lie.
oh, okay, that's good because I'm still going. Um, yes, I enjoyed the game greatly. It was exactly what I
Fabulous.
thought it was going to be and what I expected it to be.
Fabulous, yes. And I'm right there with you. I really enjoyed this game. It was a good appetite cleanse, a nice palate cleanser after playing another game that you and me will review sometime next week, hopefully. That was just a good, because obviously that game was a Zelda-like type dungeon crawler. This is a narrative third-person game, and if it's the best analogy for you, I would say just in the style of a Telltale game. That's basically the simplest analogy I could say for it. It is a Telltale type game, but it's obviously developed by a different company and published by a different company. I really enjoyed the narrative experience. It is very British humor. The British humor is right in there. There's a part that happened at the end that literally made me, and I think it's even fair to say after our conversation before we started recording, literally piss ourselves laughing with what happened to it. We won't spoil it. We'll leave it for you to all check out and everything. There's one thing I did miss to say. It's on Xbox. It's also on Game Pass. This is how I believe you, both me and you have played it.
Pre-installed it and everything. I was like, I really want to play Last Stop at some point, and then out comes I think it was Major Nelson, and he was like, "Hey, check it out! It's coming in Game Pass." And I went, "Fucking sweet!"
And we're like, "Yes, Game Pass literally is still the best thing in gaming, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just be frank here; it really is."
Yeah, the humor was really good. There's a part I can't say specifically in the game where I was just like, "Fucking lad!" It was my favorite thing I've done in a video game so far. In terms of like character choices in 2021, I was like, this is the best. It's late game though, so I don't really want to say what it was. Because I'm going to recommend this game by the end of this review.
Yeah, I think it's fair that we're both going to recommend this game. It was like I said, it's a nice palate cleanser for me. I really enjoyed it. So overall, of the overall arc, the story, the characters, all different and unique in their own different ways. You're wondering what's happening, and you're wondering how is this all going to come together? And it does all come together really nice and tidily. I thought for me, I was like, the only one that I had a problem with, well, not a problem with, it was just I can't remember the character's name. That's so bad. I'm terrible at remembering games.
Oh no. Okay, so there's John and Jack, because there's three stories, as you said. There's John and Jack. And I think it's fair to say that their story is about they switch bodies.
Yes,
like John is a middle-aged single father, and Jack is a 20-something video game developer, and they switch bodies, and that's what their story is about. There's Donna, who is the school kid who's on the council estate, and then there's the stranger who they follow, and then they accidentally kidnap him and tie him up in an abandoned building. With her friends Becky and Viv, and then there's Mina, who is like, she has the most unusual story. Like the other two are pretty relatable, right? Middle-aged dad, young guy. Mina works for like a private military company, and you're not really sure what they do, as a company. But that's not really relevant until the end, because it's more about her life and. She's cheating on her husband and stuff like that. And those are the three stories.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, the only part I thought it jumped a lot of things for me was Donna's story. That's what I felt like saying. Oh, I know what has happened and everything, but I was just thinking, oh, you've jumped over a couple of things that I thought which would have been really cool, but at the same time, each character arc has 6 chapters each, so I can see why they've sped through this to just get to this final part here. We already knew, because we've seen what happens throughout the previous chapters. We know what's happened and what's Donna done or what Donna's asked for or something. We know this, but I just felt like, I really wish we could have seen that finally come
it kind of
Just see it overall, yeah.
it spent like, and I agree. I think Donna's story was really good, and I really love the characters in it. I really love the characters in all of them. But there's a moment where it's like you spent maybe a bit too much time laying the groundwork, and then skipped over some stuff I wouldn't have minded seeing
Yeah.
in an episode of this.
Yeah.
Because there's like 6 episodes. Each of the stars gets 6 episodes. You can't just play them. Like, you can't just play all of Jack and John's story. It's like you play the first chapter of each one, and then you play the second, and then you play the third, and you can choose which order you do it in. But
Yeah.
you have to play them sort of like that. So.
Yeah. It's really, that's like, other than that, I think that's the only narrative really disappointment I had with it. There's like a couple of tweaks I would do. There's no doubt about it, but that's just me as thinking, if only they could have done this part and type of thing. But other than that, I would not. Excuse me. I think they've done a really good job of how they've expressed and explored the characters overall. Like, I think Jack and John's, I love that. I thought that whole thing was absolutely brilliant. And the John's daughter, Molly, she's adorable, and she must be protected at all time, ladies and gentlemen.
Where
seriously.
Jack's... I'm gonna do one joke because I have to, and it's on the screen. In fairness, it's in the B-roll footage where they go to get the post off of Jack, and he's wearing his gym outfit, and he's got the tight pants on, and the little kid, he's like 8 years old, is just like, doesn't that pinch you, Willie? It's just like, this is fucking ridiculous. I love it.
Yeah, she's absolutely brilliant, and you just love her and adore her and everything. And I really enjoyed the interaction of obviously the switching the bodies. Obviously, Jack, the youngster, rise, fit body as hell, fit. Obviously, a very smart overall gentleman, but overall very immature because of his age still and how he acts and everything. And then you got John. There's things that have happened in his life which I won't spoil or anything like that. I think it's best to experience the little things that we've touched upon. It's just you're already out there for everyone to know what happens. So other than that, I think. But John's like I said, John's story is a very sad one. For me, you can see he's a middle-aged man who's raising a daughter, just going day by day, day by day, day by day. He's just and then the body swaps and everything, and it goes completely crazy. And how they tackle certain things that happen in their lives or their day-to-day lives really brings a comedic element to it. What's really fun and refreshing and just really works because of what's happened and everything. And then you've got other elements that they throw into it as well, what just make it more serious at certain elements. And I love John's friend Shaz. I thought she was really fun, and I was just thinking, does John fancy her maybe or something like that? Or was it just a good friend? They were just good friends and everything.
I think they were just good friends.
Yeah, it did seem like it, but it was just like maybe just how she smiled sometimes. Because I thought overall the visuals for the style they were going for were overall very good.
So this game did something really, really smart with where it did the visuals, where like. There's a lot of walking and talking. It's something I picked up on when I reviewed, and this is years ago, when I reviewed Oxenfree, where I was like, they figured out how to marry the gameplay and the dialogue. You just walk and talk, and that was in 2016. And I was like, why aren't more games doing this, where you can just walk and talk? And in Last Stop, you can walk, and then like your characters are just talking while you're walking, so it's not wasted time, and you don't have to sit and watch a cutscene, and then just select the dialogue options with the face buttons. And you do that in this game. And I like the fact that it keeps the focus on the characters, in that you're walking from point A to point B, and let's say like 2 characters are talking, you're doing the options and stuff, and like the environments look fine. They're what they are. I want to talk more about that in a bit, but like the background NPCs and the other characters, like they don't like. There's no fidelity to them. They're human shaped. They don't have like facial features or anything. It's given that this is a story. It's quite a surrealist sort of story in general, but also just because it keeps the focus on the main characters. I was like, that's a really smart decision because like you're not getting distracted by anything in the background.
Yeah, the best way I would say to tone this story in general is if you've enjoyed, say, over in the UK, Channel 4 dramas, because they very much concentrate on characters and the character development. There's an overall plot that's going on, but that doesn't really, that sometimes get pushed to the background until it all comes together at the end. On many of the dramas I've seen on Channel 4's channel, and this seems like this for me, obviously it's the same type of thing. It's all about the characters, all of them going through different things in their lives, readjusting, doing the bad things, doing the wrong things, maybe depending on the choices you make, and then you get to the obviously them all coming together, saying, "Oh, how's this all come together?" and everything. And it's done it in a really well.
It's
wild job. Well, yeah, it really
it
is.
Goes
Yeah,
mental. It goes mental at the end. It's fun. It's great.
Yeah, I agree
and
with that.
Just
I
for our
think
non-UK
really well.
friends who don't know what Channel 4 dramas are, don't worry, because I don't really like UK TV that much, and I still really like this game too. I'm reassuring people who don't watch Channel 4.
That's fair. That's fair. Oh, well, okay. In HBO show, then that's basically the same thing. I think they concentrate on the characters, overall plot is in the background. That's how I think see it for me personally. Game of Thrones, overall all about characters, rest of the plot's all behind in the background.
I'm just imagining Game of Thrones if it was made by Channel 4. I get your point, though. I get your point.
Yeah, good.
Wow.
Well, we've talked about Jon and Jack. What other character do you want to talk about? We've got two more.
Like, that was my favorite one. Jon and Jack was my favorite one as well. It was lighthearted, had a lot of great moments, and then there was a lot of serious moments as well. The Mina one was weird. Like, the Mina story was weird to me, where it was just like, how does this have anything to do with what's happening? Because you see like little connections between all the three stories, like in characters, like characters from one will pop up in another, like very briefly. And like, Last Up, like, builds itself on this is all connected. And I was like, I can see how Donna's story and Jack and Jon's story might connect in some way, because they're both very obviously from like minute one, something supernatural is going on, right? Like by the end of both of those first episodes, it's like something supernatural is going on. Nothing like that in Mina's story. So it was like, that was all about just Mina and her life. And while it wasn't bad, I was like, this kind of sticks out. And then obviously you get to the point in like, I think it's her like second last chapter where it's like, what?
Pretty much, yeah. I completely agree with you there.
I was like, I was enjoying it, but also like feeling like it didn't fit in, and then all of a sudden it really fit in.
Yeah. It was really good. It was, and that's what I think. That's the credit to it, though. At the same time, I think because they kept it, they made you completely forget about this other thing, but you've got it in the back of your mind. But you're trying to basically navigate what this person is doing in her life and everything. Like obviously Mia, she's having an affair. She's not having a great relationship with her husband right now, but also she's going through other stuff that's going on with her job, but we don't really know what her job is about or anything like that. And obviously, and then it's all revealed at the end and you just go, what is going on here? This is crazy, but I'm going with it, whatever. And all like, and it's just like crazy. And it's just really, really well done, I thought. Donna's one, like, go on.
It was, and I want to shout out. So, like, the attention to detail in Last Stop is great, right? Like, this is where I'm going to do the thing where it's like, this is the best recreation of London you've ever seen. Like, in a video game, like, ever. Like, from like, the characters, like, accents and the slang that they use to, like, the environments, like, have been recreated in a way, like, as someone who's been to London a lot, like, it's all recreated in a way where it's like, this is really like London. Like, like I could totally feel it. But there's a lot of great attention to detail in the game as well. And like, I text my friend when I was like, because there's a part in Mina's story where you're searching through a house, and like you open a lot of drawers and you open a lot of cupboards and you're looking around, and I was just like, there's very few video games I've ever played, like modern day set video games, where it's like you open like someone's cupboards and drawers and whatnot, and it's like this could be my house. Like everything that's in them makes perfect sense, and I was just like, this is like, I know it's a weird, like, you know me, I can focus on some really weird and small things sometimes, where I was like, this is nuts, like how good they've captured this.
Yeah.
So I want to bring that up because I wanted to say, like, well played. When I opened
Yeah.
that bedside drawer
Yeah.
and I saw what was inside it, and I was like, "Yep, yep, that's it. Yep, that's where you keep those." That's all
That's
I'm
true.
gonna say on that.
Yeah. I won't lie. I'll shout out to the. I won't. Obviously, it's not spawning any chapter or anything like that, but I'll just shout out to the DVD box arts.
Yes,
I'll say
the
that.
DVD box arts that I instantly recognized every single film.
Yep. I was especially the first one. I went, "Ah, I'm gonna take that. Can I take that? Let me take it. Even though you already own it, just let me take it anyway." I was like, "Yeah, baby. These guys have got this developer has good taste in films."
This developer knows what they're doing. Like that house is like a microcosm of everything like in the game, where it's just like you've really paid attention to like you've just really paid attention to the details in the entire world.
I agree. It's really well done. Donna's one is I really enjoyed Donna's story. Like I say, apart from the little things that I've already brought up with it, I think the characters are very well realized. Of just being a teenage angst and everything. And obviously, it goes a little bit sideways because obviously they basically kidnap a person, basically, and they don't know what's going on. Yet somehow it just keeps on going and going, and you don't know, because of how things happen and everything, you don't know actually how much time lapses over the whole thing, and it's really crazy how it goes with that. And that's why I think I was thinking one of the things that I think hurt, because you just think, wait, how much time has actually lapsed here? What's going on here? Why have we skipped over so many things here? And and I thought that was a little bit. That's the only, like I said, was a little bit disappointing for it. But I really enjoyed like the characters, like her sister, her mother, her sister's girlfriend, etc. Her friends, really, really well done, I thought.
Yeah, no, like I really obviously like the story and I like the characters. Like I just feel like this is the one where, apart from what we talked about with the pacing, shall we say, like it set itself up to be more intriguing than it ended up being. Sort of like when you get to like the final part of the story with Donna and the stranger. You can give a name, like at some point, but like it's just like it became very like, oh, that's it, that's the whole thing. Like, right, okay, that's disappointing because it set itself up to be really intriguing, and then it was just, oh, it's just this. All right, I mean that's fine, and I'm still digging the story, but it's like, you set yourself up to be more interesting than you ended up turning out to be, which is a shame.
Is there any other things that didn't work for you in the elements like this? I have a couple of things. I have like one thing that just made me laugh all the time, but I'll let you go first.
Well, I was going to say, like, obviously the majority of this review has been focused on story and characters, and that's because there's not really a whole lot of gameplay in Last Stop, and I've seen a lot of people that's sort of their sticking point, where they're like, ooh, it's not like there's not much gameplay, and I'm like, yeah, there's not. Like, and that's fine. Yeah. Like, it's totally fine. Like, as someone who plays visual novels, like, and you just click and read, and that's still a game. And so is Last Stop. Last Stop's a great adventure game. Like, my only issue with that is, like, I liked the walk and talks. Obviously, like, that is one of the things that I wish more video games would do. I liked the gameplay injections, like where you're throwing the bottles. And stuff, as like a conversation's happening in the background, and when you're running and you've got to do the thing, there's some cool moments with like where there's like a rhythm game section in one part, like where I was like, that was just fucking amazing, like a moment of storytelling and character building in the game.
Yeah.
The only thing I wish it had done more is when you're in when you're in environments, like when you're in John's apartment, for example. And, you know, it's like, get up, get ready, go have breakfast, do the thing, do that. And it's like, I wish when you have those moments to walk around someone's apartment or like house or something or place of work, it's like you could just interact with some stuff. like you couldn't, because in most other adventure games, right? Like we both played Tell Me Why last year, where it's like when you first start off as the characters in Tell Me Why, and you're in their room, you can pick stuff up, and you get like a sense of who the character is and what they like and stuff. And in Last Stop, it's very much just you're just walking a character from place to place to trigger the next scene. And I was like, there was a bit of a missed opportunity there to sort of like be able to explore their spaces and interact and like just look at stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like it is very narrative driven, where you have to go to this point just to get things done and everything.
Yeah.
You don't do anything else really to part like you do like it like for Jack and John's story, you do everyday tasks like on when John is at work and everything, but other than that, yeah, there's not much to it on that part. Like the only other part I can see that's really where that to that type of extent is the part where you were in another person's house, but other than that, that's it. When you're exploring that part, but yeah, I can see if people don't like, if people are wanting more, you're not going to get it for it. That's just it's just one of those things that they've took the decision to do it this style, and I applaud them for that, because they had a vision and they went for it, and I think overall for me, and yeah, I think it's fair to say for you, I mean, it works. It did a really good job.
Yeah,
because
like it had me right. Like I played it
Yeah.
in a day. You played it in a
yeah,
day.
2 days, a day and a half, I would say. I started like on Friday after I finished the other game, which we'll talk about next week and everything. When Amy's finished it, ladies and gentlemen. But I don't believe you're far off, so
I'm not.
we've gone off what you told me. So, one of the things that go was for me, but it's just a mechanic issue on the like sometimes how people walked or ran down the stairs. It was just like stuttered like crazy for me.
Oh,
I don't,
wow. Okay.
yeah, it was just it was like I don't know if it was glitching or not. I don't have it. If I had, I should have recorded it so
That's fine.
so I could have sent it to you so you knew what I was meaning. But yeah, it's like it's just like they just didn't look like they were get touching the steps, but they were like stuttering really fast. But then there was other parts where they were just like running up and perfectly fine, or going down and perfectly fine. I was just thinking, you are going crazy. What's wrong with you? But
yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I noticed a couple of times like AI, like when two characters walk in and you control one, and the other one would have a hard time sometimes, like keeping up or get stuck on a wall and like have to run to catch up with you. Like I noticed that happen a couple of times.
Yeah. That's like it's just those couple of mechanical issues. Other than that, but yeah, I really had a lot of fun with this. The characters are well realized, very well balanced. I think what helps is that I love the British humor. The British humor was really well. Just made me laugh so
It
much.
was so dry and sarcastic. I was like, "This is me."
Yeah, this is
At certain
perfect.
points, I was like, "This is just what I would have said."
Yeah. That's true.
The one last thing I want to shout out about that's really,
Yeah.
really well done in this game is the cinematography. Like, and because Last Stop relies quite heavily on static cameras or like camera angles, rather than just being like a third-person adventure game where the camera's always behind you. And it does some really great work, like setting its scenes, or like the way it thinks to like have the camera track you when you're moving. So there was a scene, I remember there was a part where it was like you were running through the streets at one point and the camera just went right up and overhead as you were running through some streets, and I was like or like the way the camera would sweep across and like set a scene. The introduction, because like each story like in the first chapter has like almost opening credits where the character's like running through like walking through somewhere, and the credits are coming where it's telling you like who's playing who. And the opening for Donna's with the music and the way the camera was framing as you were going through the streets and stuff, I was like all the way through this game I was really impressed by the cinematography and the way they set the camera up.
Thank you for bringing that up for me.
Cameras. I know you don't like static cameras.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up for me. Yeah. Ow.
Just kick the box.
That's karma. I am mixed on the camera work. I think there are parts that I agree with you with everything you've just said there, but then there's other parts just thinking, just the smallest little angle. I was thinking, why are you doing it like that? There was some camera issue choices I would not have picked for me personally, but they were like I agree with you. Like, this just how they opened up the world to show you this, and it was really, really, really well done. But then it was like, there's other parts you're just like, why am I so far away down the bottom and the camera's all the way down here? Why? I don't like that. This didn't work for me in that type of elements. But yeah, I do. I'm a mixed on the camera part for me overall.
It's called art, Moody. It's called art. I'm just kidding. Whatever.
Kick the box again and see what I say.
You have your opinion. I have my opinion. That's fine.
Yes, and neither is wrong, ladies and gentlemen, because we're both allowed to have difference of opinion and not fall out of it. It's amazing.
Look on the bright side. At least there were no zombies chasing you while all these static cameras were happening.
Oh God, yeah. If it was like that, oh God. Thank God things have updated a little bit and everything. But no, yeah.
I'm gonna make a Resident Evil 1 retrospective just to spite you.
Don't expect me for anything. I need to have a look at it.
Spite is a powerful motivator. My final thoughts are like, this is a really, really good narrative game. It's very light on gameplay mechanics and interactions, but honestly, like, that's like I'm not one of those gamers. He's like, it has to be like super difficult or super precise mechanics or whatever. Like, I love games like that. Like, but also, like, I just finished Dark Souls 3, but also, like, I just sit back and chill and play this game and have fun, like, enjoying a well-told story. And I really liked it, and I recommend it. If you like that kind of stuff, it's on Game Pass. You can try it.
Yep.
If you've got Game Pass, you can just try it.
Yes, indeed. And I completely agree with what you said there. Like, the characters are so well realized. I love John and Jack, like, and Molly. I think those three are the biggest standouts for me overall. I enjoyed the rest of them as well. The humor is brilliant. It just works for me and everything. And this was just, like I said at the beginning, was a nice palate cleanser after what I played last time. It was just the perfect little thing that I needed, and it's not that long, ladies and gentlemen. The chapters are pretty short overall.
Yeah.
You can get it pretty done if you wanted to in a day or something like that. I think I completed mine in I would say 6 hours.
Yeah, it's a nice 5 to 6 hour sort of game.
Yeah. It's very well done, very well realized, and it all comes together in the end. And I think there's a couple of choices at the end that you need to pick. I'm going to ask you what your choices are after we finish recording, because I'm very intrigued to see if we pick the same or not here. But I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens more with this studio, this developer, because I think this is the first game I've played of theirs, and I can't wait to see more in the future from them. So, well, that is it for our review. Let us know what you think of the game, everybody. Did you like it? Are you in the middle? Or was it just not for you? Leave a comment down below, as it is that time for us to get out of here and go and play more games for us to eventually review them. Because we are the Fashionably Late Review Show, and we are out of here. Say bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
You said everybody. I was like, wait, what? Where is what?
I know, I
Someone's just going to jump out from behind me. Like,
say bye, the person behind Amy.